Hala Enara, a political analyst. And good morning, Dr. Enara, and happy holidays to you.
Good morning.
Let us start off with Al-Ahram, and we read Al-Sisi and Trump tackle development of bilateral ties over the phone, giving the chance to the new U.S. administration to deal in a comprehensive manner with the Palestinian cause and the Middle East crisis. And Trump looks forward to the president's visit to Washington soon. President Al-Sisi receives a phone call from U.S. President-elect Donald Trump, and talks focus on the development of Egyptian-U.S. relations after new U.S. administration officially takes responsibility, or takes over rather. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received a phone call from U.S. President-elect Donald Trump, during which they tackled the future of bilateral relations after the new U.S. administration officially takes office. Both leaders also expressed their keenness to boost cooperation in all fields. During the phone call, Al-Sisi and Trump also tackled regional developments, stressing on the importance of the Egyptian-American cooperation to face regional challenges. Trump also invited President Al-Sisi to visit the U.S. to exchange views on boosting bilateral ties and discuss the peace process inside the Middle East. Dr. Enara, I guess all the headlines in the papers, in the daily papers, the state-run press is talking about, and also the opposition, talking about this particular issue. So if you like to start off by this issue.
In fact, it was a bill of Egyptian bill. Egypt suggested that bill in the first place. There are always people who wants anything to say, oh, Egypt is doing everything against humanity, against Palestinians. They are blocking Palestinians. They are barricading borders. Though Egypt is the only Arab country that defended Palestinians. And how many wars did we wage because of Palestine?
Of course.
Egypt had shouldered the brunt of responsibility for the presence of Palestine and Israel in the region. No one waged war for them. Others may give money,
even they themselves,
to instigate them against each other, not to solve the problem. But Egypt always had a comprehensive view. When Sadat had this Camp David agreement, he called for Palestinians because he wanted to solve their problem. But others paid money or pressured them, so they refused. And we see now, did they solve their problem? Did this money solve their problem? No, they didn't. Egypt solved its problem. It was very possible that the Palestinian problem would be solved at this time, but they refused. They never see eye to eye, or other Arabs, to Egyptian ideas, because Egypt means civilization. It's not just blah, 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 just talk. Others are talking all the time about jihad for Palestine, and they never attack Israel. Other countries say that they are responsible for liberating Palestine, but they don't do anything for Palestine. Only Egypt did that. But it's always under attack, as if we are responsible for everything in this region, responsible for Palestinians who do not want to attack Israel. They want Egypt to do everything. And if Egypt resorts to diplomatic efforts, there is nothing wrong with it. Even if the United Nations approved this resolution, it was an Egyptian suggestion in the first place. No one can.
Right, but we're talking about Egypt's draft resolution. That's what was presented to the Security Council, the UN Security Council, concerning the suspension of settlements, of Israeli settlements inside those. It's totally 100% in the best interest and benefit of Palestinians. But some people were questioning why did Egypt
delay?
Exactly. We have our reasons. Maybe it is also for the best interest at this particular time,
but it
to
was
be able
not
to manage.
announced. Egypt did not announce why it would have been better if Egypt announced it. Why did they delay this resolution? But there must be a reason, because Egypt is always thinking in a comprehensive way.
Exactly.
They want to solve the problem as a whole,
We're going
not
to
only settlements.
Again, another headline is related to the same issue we're speaking about, and if you would like to kindly elaborate. From Al-Akhbar, we read the UN Security Council adopts a resolution regarding the suspension of settlements in the occupied lands. Al-Sisi and Trump stress the importance of just and comprehensive settlement for the Palestinian cause, and UN Security Council adopts a resolution regarding the suspension of settlements in occupied lands, and the United States abstains. And Trump says new words after January 20th. There should be an explanation for this statement, new words. And Netanyahu says we refuse the resolution, and we shall not abide by it. And still with the same issue from Al-Masri Al-Yawm, the front page we read, the UN Security Council condemns the settlement and the US abstains from the veto. The United States condemns the Israeli settlements and a shock in Israel and says we shall not abide by the shameful resolution. That's how they call it, the shameful resolution. That's not a shameful resolution. Maybe it could be postponed, but halting settlements inside the Palestinian territory is not a shameful resolution. It's way too late. It's supposed to be halted a long time ago.
Of course it's not shameful, but we must confess that part of the problem is the Palestinians themselves.
Exactly.
Because
the warring factions.
Yes, they are not united. They are waging wars against each other instead of Israel. So it's very easy for Israel.
And it's time for them to take care of their own business.
To have a bite of their land every day, because they are busy with another thing.
With their personal conflicts and interests. Right.
And Egypt always wanted a comprehensive settlement for the whole situation in the Middle East, because the Palestinian problem and the presence of Israel is causing problems in the whole region, not only for Egypt. It's for the whole region, because everyone who wants to shoulder any catastrophe says this is for Palestinian cause, whether it's a state or an organization. All of them are talking about Palestine, jihad for Palestine, struggle for the Palestinian rights, but no one does anything.
It's practicing it.
Yes, no one practicing anything. They think that jihad, they thought that Jerusalem has moved to Egypt. They are doing everything against Egypt, not against Israel.
Or Syria or Iraq.
Maybe we don't talk about Syria now. They are saying that we are against Israel, but they don't fight Israel. They fight only Egypt. And that's because also, as you talked about Syria, is not reacting so fiercely against them. In fact, Egypt has the right to defend itself against anyone who attacks the border, who attacks Egyptian people, who troubles our security, who troubles peace in Egypt. Egypt has the right
to defend itself,
to attack fiercely, but Egypt doesn't do that, because it's always putting in mind that there are Palestinians under siege of Hamas before they are under siege of Israel. And this is the difference of culture and civilization. If Egypt wants to solve a problem, it must think comprehensively, not only concentrating on
one side direction. But let me ask a question that always crosses everybody's mind. Why is the jihad directed towards Muslims all the time, and not anyone else who's against Muslims or is against humanity, or who is violating the human rights or violating the rights of people to attain their own land? I mean, jihad is supposed to be protecting the land, protecting the honors, protecting Islam, for example, and other religions, not only Islam. But they are doing, they are effecting or practicing jihad against Islam
Yes.
in its own right, and Muslims,
Yes.
and
Because-
against human rights.
Because this is fake and paid jihad. Some circles pay
That's
for
paid
these.
jihad. I like this
Yes,
quote.
they pay for these jihadists.
So they are mercenaries, not mujahideen.
They call themselves mujahideen, but they don't fight for Islam. They fight for themselves. They fight for the money they get. They fight for the power they get. But they don't fight for Islam. No one hurt Islam as those jihadists.
Right. And again, we read from Al-Ahram, we go back to Al-Ahram, and we read, the hijackers of a Libyan passenger's plane surrender, and after hours of tense negotiations, 2 Libyans who hijacked a plane from Libya to Malta and threatened to blow it up, surrendered peacefully, allowing 118 passengers and crew to leave the plane before walking out themselves with the last of the rest of the crew. The hijacked Airbus A320 flight was traveling from Libyan city of Sabha to Tripoli when it was diverted to Malta. Well, that's another sad incident, hijacking a plane. And also the same, I guess,